Being an actor, musician, or software developer is a full-time profession. Music, film, games, and software takes a lot of creativity, time, energy, and money to create. They should be valued, and their creators should be compensated for their efforts. Now, don't you believe that you should be paid for hard days of work? Imagine you're a mechanic. You find a beat-up 1969 Camaro at the junkyard, and it takes you a full year to restore. You go to the garage the next day, and you find it stolen. The thief stole your property, and he sold it. Now, not only did he take what was yours, but he denied you any profit that you would have made from that sale. We live in a culture of instant gratification. People want it now, and they'll do anything to get it. They'll sometimes lie, cheat, or steal. Today, I'm going to inform you about illegal file sharing, what it is, some of the different iterations of it, why it's wrong, and the consequences you face if you do this. Let me start by telling you what illegal file sharing is. Illegal file sharing is the act of downloading copyrighted resources or making those resources available to others without the permission of the copyright holder. For example, some copyrighted resources are music, videos, movies, TV shows, video games, software packages, and books. In plain English, it's illegal to download, and it's illegal to share these copyrighted materials and make them free to others. Now, let me tell you some of the methods people use to share copyrighted materials. They'll use CDs or DVDs, that can hold more items. They'll also use thumb drives or memory cards, and then they could also use portable hard drives. All those items are very small and can hold a lot of information, a lot of different files. So it's easy for them to put all those files on there and just take it to one of their friends and they can start sharing files. Other methods used are bulletin boarding, Usenet, FTP, and peer-to-peer. Now that you know a little bit about what illegal file sharing is, let me explain further the different transmission and dispersion methods and the history of file sharing. The history of file sharing began in 1971 when the first floppy disk drive became commercially available from IBM. It allowed users to transport files from one computer to another manually. In 1978, Ward Christensen created the first online bulletin board system. It allowed users to share files online, and users were local because it was accessed through a phone line. Then in 1979, Usenet was created. It was a worldwide distributed discussion system. Users can post articles or messages onto the discussion boards and then broadcast them to others. It didn't take long for people to start taking advantage of this. Then in 1985, FTP, which is File Transfer Protocol, was created. It allowed users to exchange files on a TCP/IP network, which is an internet network. It is still used today as one of the most popular file sharing methods among both individuals and corporations. Then in 1988, IRC, which is Internet Relay Chat, was created. It was created to host chat rooms. It allowed user-to-user file transfers, and people realized this quickly that they could share files online and started taking advantage of it. Then in 1991, the World Wide Web became available to the public. It became one of the largest file sharing networks ever created. Then in 1999, Napster became available. Some of you may still remember about Napster. Napster was a website which held files on a peer-to-peer centralized server. It became one of the most popular file sharing services in the history of computing. This is where everyone went to download MP3 files, basically music files. And then the music industry quickly worked against the MP3 file sharing, and Napster was shut down in 2001. peer-to-peer has evolved. It is now a network that exists between hundreds or thousands of computers hosting or downloading a specific file. I'll now demonstrate how peer-to-peer works. I've pre-installed some software onto my computer, and I'll initiate a download and explain a little bit about it. I'll initiate the download now. I'm downloading a file called Skyfall. It was a recent movie in the theaters. As you can see here, I'm hoping you can see, it tells me that there's 21,000 people sharing this file. And also, there's some more people that hold the file, but they're not sharing it right now. So let me go ahead and stop this download before it becomes illegal. So basically, I started that download, but I didn't finish it, so it's not illegal. There are two proponents to illegal file sharing. Those who think it's wrong, and those who think it's really not stealing. Just because you can download something from the web for free, does that mean that it's okay? The music and movie industry is against illegal file sharing. They believe that downloading something without the permission of the relevant creator is against the law. According to the Center for Copyright Information, illegal file sharing results in 58 billion of economic losses per year, 373,000 lost American jobs, and also 3 billion lost in badly needed federal, state, and local government tax revenue. Also, according to a report by the American Assembly at Columbia University, the majority of people between the age of 18 and 29 believe that illegal file sharing isn't actually stealing. One of their thoughts is that as the owner of the music CD or the movie DVD, they believe it's reasonable to share with family and friends. You and I have probably shared a music CD or a movie DVD with family and friends and haven't even thought anything about it. Another thought is that when you steal something, you deprive the owner of that property. But when you download something, you're actually making a copy of it. So you're not depriving anybody of anything. Now, without the income from the sales of successful established artists, record companies struggle to support new talent. One of the consequences of this is that new bands get dropped before their careers can take off, thus leaving less new music for me and you. Under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, distribution of copyrighted materials is punishable by law. Some of these punishments are you can get up to 5 years in jail, you can be fined and charged with up to $150,000 per file, and then the copywriter could also file a suit. So on top of all that, you could actually lose more money. Now I have some examples of some recent cases of illegal file sharing. According to Wired.com in 2009, a federal jury concluded that a 25-year-old college student must pay $675,000 or $22,500 for each of the 30 songs he was found liable of infringing. Then also in Minnesota, Jamie Thomas Rassett, a single mother, was fined $80,000 for each of the 24 songs that she downloaded illegally, resulting in almost $2 million of fines and charges. Now, you know how much trouble you could get into, and also you know how much money you could lose from sharing files illegally. Let me recap. We live in a modern age. We can drive a few minutes from our homes and we have access to theaters, malls, and everything is also at our fingertips. Literally, we can access everything online. Today, I talked to you about what illegal file sharing is. I gave you a brief history of file sharing, the ethics on file sharing, and the consequences of illegal file sharing. Musicians, actors, and software developers work hard. You and I work hard for the things we have. You wouldn't want someone to steal those things that you worked hard for. Don't be part of the problem. Don't download files illegally.